Well, hello again, everybody. Our devotional today is going to be on the Esler of humility. This whole COVID crisis is really humbling a lot of people, but I'd like to just restate what our definition of humility is. Humility is our response to God and the beginning of understanding. In awe and with gratitude, we recognize that we are born into God's creation, which is vast, and into God's story, which is already in progress. And we really are part of this story now. Our Bible verse comes from the Gospel of Matthew, chapter 11, verse 28. And Jesus says, "Come to me, all you who labor and are heavy laden, and I will give you rest." Did you know that we can turn any problem over to God, and He will help? And, maybe your life has just gotten so bad that you wish you could just change places with somebody else. Everyone has to isolate during this crisis, and that makes life, tough for everybody. But there may be even other things that are bringing you down. Maybe you've got a grandparent that's been sick for a long time and you can't go see them. Maybe it's you can't see your sports friends, or maybe there's trouble in your household. We've got a couple at our church that have been married for more than 50 years. They're both HBA alumni. And he's been in the hospital for the past week for an operation, and his wife can't even go to visit with him. One middle school girl told me last week that she gets scared when her parents have to go grocery shopping. Situations like this can be tough if you don't know how to respond to them. Well, know that you don't have to go through any of these situations by yourself. You can turn them over to God and lean on Him. And the first step in that process is a healthy response, admitting that you are hurting, and maybe that you're angry, or maybe that you're scared. Denying your feelings can set you up for even bigger problems. If you find yourself falling apart or feeling depressed, immediately turn the problem over to God. Well, how do you do this? I'm glad you asked. Number one, talk to God. Pray and tell Him that you acknowledge that you have no control over this situation. Second, acknowledge that there is nothing that you can do to change the problem. And third, acknowledge that even when you don't see it, God is working. By doing these things, you are handing your problems off to God. And you need to tell someone how you feel. Don't try to keep it all inside. You can even tell me in the space below. And I promise I will pray for you. And I don't break my promises. Dealing with this crisis and all of its many facets is a process for which there is no instant cure. But as you draw closer to God, you will begin to feel much better, much sooner. Make sure that you take a couple of minutes each day to focus on what you still have instead of what you've lost. In time, you will probably discover that you wouldn't want to trade places with anybody else. Okay? Well, thank you very much, guys, and I will see you next time. Take care of yourself and go wash your hands.